Okay, so what I did was I'm using Block Poster, and Lindy sent me her pictures, and she sent me all of them here, and I printed them off. And I've noticed when I printed this one off, it all came in one document, which is like a little weird. But I've got some pictures for her to work from. But the one I want to put together is this one for Block Poster from blockposters.com. And it is all the pieces that we need to put together to assemble her picture. And I want to show you how to do that really fast and do it properly, because there's definitely a way to do it. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to cut off some of these edges, and I want to assemble this picture. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is the first one, I don't need to cut it all. The second one, I need to carefully cut along the lines. If you're not exactly perfect, don't worry about that. It's perfectly fine. If you're just a little bit off, not going to hurt a thing. Because this is only used temporarily. It's not used very long. So what I did was I cut off this one edge here, and I want to assemble the picture. And sometimes this becomes really difficult because it's easy to get it off a little. So depending on the picture, it really depends on the picture, but you'll see here in a second. I'm gonna try to line this up. And really look at the image when you line it up to make sure it's lined up as close as you can. I'm gonna take a little piece of tape and just put it right in the middle here to hold it temporarily. And I'll put a piece of tape out here to hold it. Okay. So the next one I want to do is this piece right here. And for this piece right here, I need to trim off this side. So I'm going to do that. I'll just trim it right off. Okay, so I've got this piece right here ready to line up. I just trim that side, and I don't need to trim everything. Remember, not everything has to be trimmed. You might want to get a couple pieces of tape ready to go and get it lined up the best that you possibly can. If it's not exactly perfect, don't worry about it. It will not be that big of a deal, because this is just a guide. It's not, doesn't have to be perfect. It'd be close as possible is good, but perfect is not required. So I'm going to put a piece of tape right here. And if I wanted to, I could hold this down and take this tape and peel it up just a little bit and put this piece down also. Okay, so I got that lined up. Now this one here, I'm going to have to cut off this edge, and this edge. This last one has to be cut a little bit more than most of them. And then try to do it carefully as possible. Now I noticed that when I printed these out, when I printed them out 100%, some of the edges, for whatever reason, did not print properly. So I changed the percentage when I printed this out to 95%, to print at 95% of original size. And it printed perfectly fine. So when you print these, you may have to change the percentage that you print it. So when you go to print in the dialog box, change it from 100% to 95%. And I think you'll find you will get it printed out properly. If you don't change that, it could be that it doesn't print properly and your pieces will not line up. So it's just I don't know why that's an issue, but it is. And after printing them several times and I figured out that it wasn't working, I was just looking for a solution. So I tried to print it out smaller to see if that would help, and it did. So we are good with that. So again, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. As close as you can get it is good. put a piece of tape over here. And then again, if I want to, I can lift this up a little bit. And I might want to just put a couple little pieces out here to hold that in place. And I can lift this up and put this piece on here, making sure that I'm not moving anything around. Okay, so I got that little piece. So now I've got it assembled pretty closely. I'm looking at all the edges and they look pretty good overall, but I don't want to leave it this way. I want to turn it over and I want to take my tape and I want to tape most of this. And it doesn't matter what tape you use on the back here, because this is just keep it all together. It's not very important, but tape the whole thing. And then I'm going to come back to the picture and just remove this piece right here. The other pieces don't really have to be removed. Okay, you could just leave them as is. Now, that's how to assemble the picture. Now what we have to do to be able to put this on our painting, we have to draw lines right on the face. So let me show you how to do that. What I want to do is I want to start tracing the picture, and I can use a couple different things. I prefer to use either a small piece of Vine charcoal, or I have this charcoal pencil, and I think this works pretty well too. You know, if whatever you have is fine. You have some Vine charcoal, you can use that. Find a little bitty thin piece. Smaller the piece, the better. And then what you want to do is you just want to outline the parts of this face. And we're trying to get the shape of the face. We're trying to get the direction of the hair. And we don't have to be exactly perfect on this. I mean, you're going to paint this. This is for painting. But I'm going to try to get the direction of the hair so that you can really see where the hair is going. Okay, we don't want to look like a, you know, like a helmet head. We want to show some of the individual strands of which direction they're going. And again, this could be painted later on, but it really helps if on some of the key areas you get, you know, the right lines. And you can see how the hair strands kind of curve and then they come back. You know, just a few lines in here. You don't have to draw every hair, but just a few lines just to show the direction of the hair. Really helps, I think. Of course, you want to outline it. And so you want to get in these lines right here, really important. Right here's a line. We have her earring right there, so we want to kind of get that. We can kind of show where the hair is coming on the shoulder. Right there. And just a few lines in here to show the direction of the hair is really good. As far as the body goes, she's got this outfit here that is like the leopard print. I honestly would not probably paint it in this pattern. I mean, you could do it, but it would be a major undertaking to do this. It would be difficult to do. So my suggestion is you ignore the leopard pattern, and you just maybe paint it a color. That's what I would do. If it were mine, that's what I would do. I mean, if you really love the leopard pattern and you want to paint all this, you could do it, but I wouldn't do it. So your choice, you can decide on what should be done. So I've got most of this outlined, most of the hair and the body. And Again, I'm not looking for every strand of the hair, but I'm trying to get just the main things, the most important things. I did outline the whole face right here, so you can see that. And I wanted to get also this apart in her hair. I think that's important. And then how her hair comes off to the side here, I think this is also kind of important. Her earring, and then basically her the seams of her clothes, so you can see that, and the outlining shape. Now we have to do the face, which is probably the hardest. So with the face here, I don't try to draw every line on the face, and I don't try to outline absolutely everything. So you can see kind of like on the eyebrows, I'm just kind of drawing the eyebrow lines like the way the eyebrow goes. And I'm trying to just kind of look for that. I'm not trying to like outline it. Okay, on the face, you know, the lines here, we can go ahead and outline. And we want to try to be as accurate as possible. And I'm not going to draw every line on the eye too. Look under the eye here. I'm not really drawing that. That's okay. I'm drawing mostly these important lines and shapes. Drawing her pupil in there. This line right here. Okay, so I've got the eyes pretty good, I think. I feel pretty good about them. Now, this is kind of tough here because of the nose. There's not a lot of contrast in here, and I want to make sure that I get this right. So you may have to look at your picture, and you notice that this is flipped. Obviously, we did that for a reason. But we're trying just to get the basic shape of the nose. And I know it'll look a little strange when we do this, but it's important that you get the basic shape so when you paint, that you can paint it properly. And then also these smile lines here, I want to kind of get those in there. And I want to look for those because that's important. Now, I think it's always tough when you have a painting that you're doing that has like a smile. It's always harder to do a painting when it has a smile, and it just is. It's hard to make this expression in your face. So usually I'll tell students when they take the picture, don't take a picture of you smiling, you know, because it's tougher. Especially when this is your first time doing an oil painting. You might find that it is kind of difficult. And I'm not trying to draw every line for every tooth, but I am trying to draw around them, the gums around them. And I could fill in this dark area. Okay. And this is something that you'll have to paint some. But I'm trying to get just the basics of this so that you have a starting point. And I know it looks very outlined. That's okay. When you start to paint it, it won't look that way. So it's pretty outlined, and again, that's perfectly fine. We are just focused right now on getting like the basic proportions. Looking for some of the main basic features. We haven't outlined everything, and that's perfectly fine. That's how we want to do it. We don't need to outline everything. But we've got all the proportions right, and everything is ready to go. I'm a little bit off on this right here, on the lips, but I think I can fix that up a little bit here. and when I paint it, for sure I can fix it. Okay. And I got the shape basically right. And then on the hair, I got to make sure I get those right. I think I'm good. Okay, so now this one is ready to transfer to the canvas. You can see right here, it's ready to transfer to the canvas. And I think I got everything right. I'm just kind of double checking some places, making sure I got it dark enough. And I feel okay about it. But like I said, it doesn't hurt to kind of go out, especially around the face. Here, the shape of the face and the shape of the hair. I think we're okay there. I think we got this. Okay, so next time what we can do is we can prepare the canvas. Now, if you're not using a canvas, if you're just using paper, you're gonna do it the same kind of way. So we're not worried about that. You know, when we prepare the canvas or the paper, we'll do the same thing to it, basically, and hopefully it works out like we think it's going to work out. I know how it's going to work out on the canvas because we've done that already, but the paper, I'm still a little questioning how it's going to work out. So the next time that we work on this, we will transfer, we'll prepare the canvas by painting it the proper color, and then when that dries, we will transfer this image onto the canvas. So those are the next two steps. Paint the canvas. We're going to paint it like an orange color, and I'll show you what it looks like. Kind of. Okay, this is just the start of the painting, and you can see how her lines here are these are the lines she transferred on, and she just started adding her white here. But we're going to paint all the orange on next time we meet, and then we're going to transfer the picture on. Then we'll go on to paint the light areas. And so this is several steps further than we will go the next time, but it'll give you an idea what we're going to do with the color. We're going to paint this orange. That's the next thing, and then let it dry, and then we're going to transfer the picture over. Okay, so that's kind of what it'll look like. Here's an example. Actually, here's one of the orange right there. And it looks like someone started to transfer something on there, but it's not very dark, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening with this. But we're going to paint the orange on the canvas just like this. And if you have paper, we'll paint the paper orange, okay? And that's how we will start that painting. Okay. Well, that's it for this time anyway, and we'll get back to this later.